Hi everyone. So, how are you guys doing? Are you okay? I know it's been a while, but as I say, I'm not really a video maker. So, today I want to talk to you guys about a book I finished reading a few weeks ago by one of my favorite authors, uh, Ursula K. Le Guin. This is the book here. I have the Portuguese version here in my hand. It's called A Wizard of Earthsea, or in Português, O Feiticeiro de Terra-Mar. It was the first book I read this year in 2026, and it was actually a great way to start the year. I think that my favorite thing about the book is the way that magic works in this universe, in the Earthsea universe. Because you see, the book has a unique magic system where you get power over things in your world by knowing their true names. If you know the true name of, I don't know, a mug, for instance, then you have power over that mug. If you know the true name of an instrument, of the sea, of a region, then or of a magic creature like a dragon, for instance, then you will wield power over it. I'm sorry about the dog barking. That's just Brazil. I think that this magic system of knowing the true names of things is a very beautiful metaphor for how we see the real world, how knowledge works in the real world. Is a very beautiful epistemological metaphor. Because here in our real world, when we know the true names of things, we actually wield power over that thing. For instance, when we know the laws of physics, for instance, we can use that knowledge to advance our technology, for instance. So, knowing the true name of things, knowing how things work, is actually what gives us power over them. And that's a beautiful message per se. But the book is way more than that. The main character of the book, Gad, also known as Sparrowhawk, is a young magician or a young wizard, who's learning things. In the afterword of the book, Ursula talks about how she wrote Gad or Sparrowhawk to be like a younger version of these big wizards of fantasy, like Merlin or Gandalf. She was trying to think what their life was like when they were in a young age. But the thing is that the book is way more than that. It has one of the things that really caught my eye and my brain while reading it is the fact that there's no such thing as a hero or a villain in the book. And that's very, very compelling, something that's hard to do, because literature is conflict. We always see that literature is conflict, that narratives they drive on conflict, and the book, well, it has conflict, but not in the traditional terms. We don't have a hero and a villain. Instead, we are seeing the story of Gad, of Sparrowhawk, and how his proudness and his impatientness lead him to unleashing a terrifying creature. It kind of leads to his shadow. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. I already spoiled the whole thing in the text that I wrote about this book, that I'll leave the link here in the description, and I highly encourage you to go read the text if you already read the book and if you don't care about spoilers. In it, I will go in much more detail than this video here allows. As I always say, I try to keep everything under 10 minutes because I don't want to waste your time. And I'm here to propel you to go read. I'm here to incentivize you to go read. Go read Ursula's book, go read my essays, go read everything. As we say here in Brazil, I want you to go read everything from books to medicine leaflets. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is to keep holding on to that metaphor of the true name. You see, the protagonist, he has two names. One of his names is Gad, his true real name, and the other name is Sparrowhawk, is the name that everyone knows him for. Because the magic system in Earthsea universe works that way, because you wield power over something by knowing his true name, then the wizards of that world, they don't reveal their true names to anyone. Because revealing your true name to someone who doesn't earn knowing that information, you are giving that person power over you. And I think that that's another very beautiful metaphor, and a great lesson for today's world with social media crashing over us. In our society, we are frequently taught that transparency equals authenticity. And for checking that, you just have to look at the social media logic today. You just have to look at the most famous influencers. They are very transparent about their lives. They talk about their lives. They share everything because that transparency is kind of a measure of authenticity. In other words, social media asks us to reveal our true name to everyone. But the thing is that you shouldn't reveal your true name to everyone, you see? And that's something that really hit me hard when I was reading the book. I have my own struggles, my own internal battles. I've been through some shit in life, And in the past, I thought that I had to talk to everyone about it. And this book, if there's a lesson I can take out of it, one of the many lessons I can take out of it is that I shouldn't share my true name with just everyone, And you shouldn't too. It's called self-preservation. But moving on, I think that there's another big lesson we can learn from this book. The book is very ahead of its time, I won't talk about the ending of the book. As I said, the ending of the book will be there in my text, and I highly recommend that you go read my interpretation of the ending. But I want to talk about how ahead of her time Ursula K. Le Guin was. Because she was, She describes Ged, the protagonist of the book. He is a person with a brown skin. And everyone in its region, the region where he comes from, has a brown skin. His best friend, Vetch, he's black. And none of this is incidental, Ursula talks about it and how much it hurted her when she saw different versions of the book being printed with lily white gads. All of that is in the afterword of the book when she's talking about her own creation. But I would like to share with you guys one of the reflections that really hit me the hardest. Is this one. I'll try to read it really fast because we are running out of time. Open quotations for Ursula here. A hero whose heroism consists of killing people doesn't interest me, and I detest that hormonal battle orgies of our visual media, the mechanical slaughter of endless battalions of black cat demons with yellow teeth and red eyes. War as a moral metaphor is limiting and dangerous. By reducing the options for action to a war against, whatever it is, you divide the world into me or us, good, and them or it, evil, also reducing the complexity of ethics and moral richness of our life to yes, no, on, off. This is puerile, misleading, and degrading. In stories, this logic precludes any solution except violence and offers the reading a mere childish guarantee. Often, the heroes of such fantasies behave exactly like the villains, acting with stupid violence. But the hero is on the right side and therefore will win. The right defines power, or does power define the right? If a war is the only game in town, yes, the power defines what is right. That's why I don't play war games. Close quotation. Isn't that a powerful thought by Ursula here? I think it's very convenient for the time as well, Power is defining what is right now in the world. And I think that this book, The Wizard of Earthsea, O Feiticeiro de Terra-Mar, is something that everyone should be reading. Because it has many, many lessons that we must learn. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Go read the text I'll leave here in the comments, and please go read the book as well. Thank you so much and bye!